Hey, hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another game review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this game to tell in short what this game is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this game, so in case you didn't play it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah, just click away from this video and come back after you play a game if you want to, guys. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally okay. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this game right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl is a open world survival RPG first person shooter that was released in 2007. It was developed by GSC Game World. It was developed in X-Ray Engine. And this is one very old school game, guys. I actually remember playing it back in the day when it was released on my first PC that I have ever owned. And I remember not being able to play this game on that PC because it was too weak and game was frame dropping constantly and it was just unplayable. But I do remember reaching one part of the game where I just got too scared and quit the game forever as a little kid. There is also two other Stalker games, S.T.A.L.K.E.R Clear Sky and S.T.A.L.K.E.R Call of Pripyat. I'm gonna play both of them on my channel as well because Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl was announced for 2023, which is the main and primary reason why I decided to replay entire Stalker trilogy on my channel, so you can expect that as well. Anyway, story of Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl is set in alternative Chernobyl zone. The year is 2012. And this alternative Chernobyl zone is filled with all kinds of dangers, mutants, and factions. Whoever comes to the zone is called a Stalker, and people have different reasons why they come to the zone. Some come to get rich, some come for adventure, some are running from the problems, some are trying to have a new life. They all have their reasons for coming to the zone. And you play as a Stalker called the Marked One. The reason why they called you the Marked One is because you have a Stalker tattoo on your forearm. And the game starts with a cutscene of you driving inside of a truck filled with dead bodies, and truck is struck by a lightning, and you somehow survive the crash. You are found by another Stalker who saves your life and brings you to this guy called Strenovich or something like that. And you wake up, you have an amnesia, you don't know what happened. Everything you know is that your PDA device says kill S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and for the entire game you're trying to figure out actually what is going on, what happened, who are you, who is the S.T.A.L.K.E.R, why you need to kill him. And to do that you have to go through a bunch of quests. It's just one huge adventure. You meet a lot of different characters, and by the end of the game you actually realize that you are the S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and you actually uncover that at the center of the zone inside the power plant there is something called Grant Wisher, which is some sort of like alien device that grants people a wish, at least that's what they think. But what it does basically is just makes people hallucinate and drives them mad or right into their death. It's a very evil thing, and like all that was pretty much created to control the entire zone. And actually that Grand Wisher is like part of a hive mind that is made by just a bunch of scientists. It's very weird and complicated story. You really kind of have to play it to understand it completely. There is so much going on and it's kind of hard to explain, but overall the game has a very mysterious story. The story itself is very mysterious. It's gonna keep you interested through the entire game. You're gonna wonder all the time what is actually going on. A lot of times you're not gonna understand what's going on, and you'll have to listen more carefully and read more carefully on the screen what's going on. because this is like old school RPG game where you had to read everything off the screen and select the dialogues from the screen. So there is a lot of reading, and big part of the story is based on reading and listening to other characters' conversation, finding documents and all that kind of stuff that you find around the zone. So if you're into that kind of stories, I think Stalker story should be interesting for you. Even though, like I said, for some people this might be too much and it can be hard to follow. And yeah, if you don't really wanna invest your time into this game's story, you're gonna hardly understand it and have a hard time understanding anything. But however, if you are a person who is into those kind of things, I think you're gonna enjoy Stalker's story. I know I did, definitely. I loved it, every second of it. It was very interesting. I especially love that mystery part where you don't know what's going on and you're constantly wondering what's gonna happen, and that's what actually keeps you in your seat, heated to find out what's gonna happen at the end of the game. Game has 7 different endings, and that was available back in 2007. Back then I can't remember much games who had that uh, ending changing effect, you know, that featured where you could change the ending of a game depending by your choices. So there is a bunch of different endings and ways to end a game that depend completely by the player. And I think for a game like this, for such an old game, this is one high quality story that I really enjoyed. When it comes to gameplay, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl is definitely an interesting game, and there is definitely a good reason why people appreciate it so much after all these years. You see, back in 2007, this was supposed to be a game that brought something new to the gaming industry and something we haven't seen before in any other game. And in my opinion, this game definitely succeeded in that. I mean, I can't think of any other game from 2007 that had an open world with dynamic weather and dynamic wildlife and all these kind of random things that are going on in the game and all the features. It's pretty crazy to think that this was available back in 2007 in this game. And if you open a map in the game, you're actually gonna see that the world of this game is pretty big. And back then, open world was separated into areas, so it was not all from one part. There were areas, and as you transact from one area to another, you're gonna be hit with a loading screen that actually doesn't last long at all. And it works great. It still works great after all these years. It's still interesting, still works fine. And yeah, the world of this game is actually pretty big. There is a lot of areas you can explore, a lot of places you can go to, a lot of things that you can do. And yeah, definitely the most interesting thing about this game is AI and dynamic wildlife and weather and all that. So there was full day-night cycle. It could rain, it could be foggy in this game. As you run through the zone, you're gonna often run into these wild radioactive dogs that are gonna attack you, and there is a pack of them, and if you kill a few of them, the others are gonna run. That's a crazy feature and AI that I've uncovered in this game. And you're gonna be maybe attacked by some mutants as well. You can also see other factions fighting each other. Factions who are allies are not gonna fight each other. Factions who are hostile towards everyone are gonna shoot everyone on the side, including you, like bandits or militia or monolith. You're gonna see these factions randomly running into each other in the wilderness and just fighting. It's really crazy the amount of details and the AI and everything that this game had back in 2007. It's really crazy. The zone is filled with all kinds of dangers like radiation and anomalies. There is plenty of them. There's different type of anomalies, like a vortex anomaly, for example, that lifts you up and then blows you into pieces, or electrical anomaly that can fry your ass, or you have this like kind of air anomaly that just kind of spreads air around you and just blows up. It can also hurt you that way. and you have to avoid them. You can throw bolts at them to check out where they are and just avoid them. This game also has an inventory system, which is something I really like about this game. It adds that whole survival element there with that. It's just crazy. I love when I kill enemies and I approach them, I loot them, I open the inventory and see how much stuff am I carrying. There is a weight limit. If you go overweight, your stamina is gonna deplete almost instantly when you try to run, so you can't carry more than 50 kilograms in this game. So you have to sort the things out. You'll have to carry only things that you need, things that are important, and throw the things that you don't need. You'll have to balance out the weight, the importance of the ammunition, weapons, or whatever that you're carrying. There's plenty of different weapons in this game. It's really crazy. There are also traders. They're very useful. As you progress through the game, you're gonna obtain better equipment and weapons. You're gonna start with pistol and double barrel, and then you're gonna make all the way to your assault rifles, AKs, 5.56 rifles, even railguns at the end. You're gonna first have the normal rookie suit, and then later you're gonna have anti-radioactive hazard suit with the night vision and all that kind of stuff. It's really crazy, and I love how you progress through the game, and as you progress you obtain better equipment and you get stronger, you get more experience. There is also a reputation system, and this especially relies on the side quests. So side quests are pretty boring in this game. They're pretty repetitive. You'll have to kill some stalkers, or get the monster body parts, or do some stupid shit like that, but it does get you money, and it does get you the reputation for the factions. Having a good reputation is pretty important in this game, because other factions are gonna be more friendly towards you. Traders are gonna sell you their items cheaper and stuff like that. So the things that you do around the zone in this game actually affect the world around it and how other stalkers and NPCs react to you. That's crazy. Those are some crazy features for a 2007 game. So yeah, when it comes to combat, that's where a game definitely lacks. The combat is extremely clunky in this game. Very often you're gonna shoot the enemies and the bullets are just gonna be going through them. So you're gonna often have to crouch or double crouch with control when you're shooting to stabilize your weapon more. Honestly, it's better to fire from your hip than just aim down the sights. You're not gonna hit shit. But in the same time, that clunkiness and that like old school way of shooting and these old school animations on guns when you shoot and reload and old school sounds is what actually makes this game so unique and interesting. It's so nostalgic, it's so great, it's just fucking 10 out of 10. I loved it. Even though it was so clunky, I loved it. This is definitely something that's gonna be improved in the Stalker 2, but it's just legendary how clunky it is. Sometimes you can even have a few laughs and just laugh because you literally aim the guy from few meters away, right? You point right at his head and fire, and the bullet just, I don't know, goes through him and nothing happens. It's just hilarious sometimes. Also, your PDA device is something very interesting and something you're gonna be using a lot in this game. It's basically like a little journal. You can find all kinds of informations about the zone, about the characters, other stalkers, factions. You can read the game story. Literally everything can be found on your PDA. It's like a little information device, and you use it as a quest menu. That's kind of poorly done. Sometimes you're gonna have a lot of quests and it's not marked what is a main quest or what is a side quest, so you'll have to really watch out for that. Also, this is a old school RPG game with bunch of information on the screen. Very little of the story is told through the voice acting, and there is a lot of selective dialogues. You're gonna read a lot of shit from the screen. You're gonna select a lot of things with your mouse on the screen, what you're gonna answer to other people, and these selective dialogues can sometimes be a pain in the ass. Sometimes there is just so much to read. It's just very boring, and it's just kind of really brain melting. At least it was for me at a certain moments. But despite all that, once you get used to it, that's what it gives such an interest to this game, and it's such a great vibes. It's really old school game. That's what makes it so great. Also, around the map, there are random loot locations. Every time you loot a body, your PD is gonna beep, which means it like absorb the information about some loot location, and then you can go to that loot location. Sometimes you're gonna find artifacts that you can sell to traders and get a good money. Sometimes you're gonna find some good weapons, some good supplies. Sometimes you're gonna find complete garbage shit of loot. But that's what makes it so interesting. You don't know what's gonna happen or what you're gonna find until you visit that loot location. So there is a bunch of these loot locations all around the map scattered, and it's just interesting how you circulate around the area. Sometimes you're gonna visit these locations few times, they're gonna resupply themselves magically somehow, and you're gonna loot them again. Sometimes, like I said, you're gonna find some good stuff, sometimes you're not, and that's it. Something that I also loved about this game are those random guitar moments. If you walk around the NPC, sometimes they're gonna sit around the fire and one of them is gonna pull out a guitar, and there is plenty of guitar songs, those campfire guitar songs that can be heard from NPCs, and it's so interesting to just sit around and listen to that. The guitar songs are so great that I actually learned some of them to play on guitar in real life, and it feels so cool to play. It has that post-apocalyptic Stalker Chernobyl vibe, you know. It's really great. It's really freaking great. I loved it. The gameplay of this game is something definitely unique and innovative, at least it was back in 2007, and I think that this game totally deserves the love that it gets. Alright, for the end, as usual, I always leave graphics and optimization. So it's kind of pointless to talk about graphics in this game because pretty much every computer today, every modern computer can run this game on all ultra maxed out possible settings. So I'm not even gonna bother talking about my PC specs or whatever. I don't see really much point of it. But when it comes to optimization, well, this game kinda can lack of it. You know, sometimes you can get stuck inside a wall and you'll have to reload the save. So don't ever save the game if you're crouched inside like pipe or something, because once you load the game you're gonna be standing and you're gonna be stuck on it, and then you'll have to load autosave. This game also uses the saving system only when you transact from one area to another. There is no way the game is gonna automatically save otherwise, and if you don't save it by yourself, you'll have to replay fucking everything. So save your game often and be careful where you save, because you can get stuck inside the textures and you cannot unstuck yourself no matter what you do. Sometimes characters are gonna be stuck in the walls as well, or gonna fall, their dead bodies are gonna fall into these campfires and just start randomly burning. So there is definitely some visual glitches and texture glitches. Some bugs definitely are available in this game, and I think that's fine since this is a 2007 game, and back then this was a game on a large scale. I think we can forgive it, definitely, despite all the awesomeness that it has with all the features and the atmosphere. The atmosphere in this game is just 10 out of 10, man. I freaking loved it. So I think we can forgive these little optimization issues, and like I said, graphics are stupid even to comment. I mean, the game doesn't look honestly bad for a 2007 game. It looks quite great. I definitely did see better games, better graphically games in 2007, but this one's not bad at all, honestly. The lighting is very well done, to be honest, actually. But yeah, that's actually it for this game review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did enjoy making it. I totally recommend you to check out S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Shadow of Chernobyl if you're a fan of post-apocalyptic, you know, stuff and Chernobyl stuff and those Chernobyl vibes, this is definitely a game for you. Check it out. Especially if you're an RPG fan, you're not gonna regret it. It's a great game. It's an old school classic. I think everyone should play it, especially before Stalker 2. And if you're planning on playing Stalker 2 the next year, definitely recommend you to check out entire trilogy. I still haven't played entire trilogy. This is the first game, but I'm definitely gonna play 2 other games as well. And yeah, guys, it's a great game. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of your support and everything you've done for me and my channel so far. You're amazing. You can also join my Chris Facebook group. Link is down below in the description. I post all kind of stuff over there, so join if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe. Also, if you want, if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally okay. And yeah, I love you guys, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos. Chris out.